Hello and welcome back. So I've had requests to do more of more of a Hatha yoga today, or actually for the last week. So depending on where you guys are watching from, you know, May has been pretty wet here, and particularly the past week has been raining buckets and just kind of breezy and blustery and awful weather, and it's made people feel like they're kind of lethargic and stiff, and certainly if you have any injuries from the past, or maybe you are someone that deals with like a lot of calcium deposits and uric acid buildup in the body, you might be feeling like you have like a lot of soreness in the joints. So I love Kundalini yoga. I love all kinds of yoga, but I've been doing a lot of Hatha in the last week just to bring some relief to stiffness and tightness and just general discomfort in the joints. So so that's what today is going to be like. I have heard that, I've never heard this in Canada, but I've heard this just recently. Maybe it happens in other countries in the world, but in Ireland, the old saying is, a wet and windy May stocks your barns with hay and grain, something like that, which means that we're going to have a good harvest this year, and fingers crossed, hopefully a hot, dry summer. So while I'm having my coconut latte right now, I thought we would just move the body today, and don't have to be very vigorous. It's Monday, and generally on Monday in classes, people don't really want to get very vigorous. You've got all week to work yourself into the week, but after the weekend, people are generally just, a little bit sluggish and tired. So cheers. So let's do this. So come on to your hands and your knees at first, and we'll just start to make some circles with the hips. And so knees right underneath the hips, and wrists stacked right underneath the elbows and the shoulders. So you're just going to go ahead and stretch the spine back while your arms are out, and then just go from one direction to the other. So it doesn't matter left to right, right to left, because we're going to do both sides. So just start to move the hips and elongate the spine a little bit. So if you're new, this channel is all about yoga. I don't do vlogging. Truthfully, I'm not really a big social media fan, But I think that it's helpful to make your channel pretty much entirely about one thing so it's not confusing for people. And if you are returning, thank you very much for joining me. And if you've subscribed to the channel, thank you very much as well. Alright, on your next inhale, come back to center, and then you're going to switch directions. So breathe through your nose, just relax into your body. You can go ahead and close your eyes if you want. Just feel what your body is feeling like right now. If you have more stiffness on the right side or the left side. We're going to stretch out the feet, we're going to stretch out the hands, the hips, of course. Okay, now come back to center. And you're going to curl your toes under and then walk your hands back and just sit on your feet or sit on your toes. So if you do a lot of walking, not very much stretching, or you're just on your feet a whole lot, this might be really uncomfortable, particularly if you're very tight through the front of the body as well into the quadriceps. So use your core always, but use your core right now to hold you up. If you have a problem, maybe your pelvis is tilted, then you can just go ahead and prop yourself up with your hands. Okay, so we're not going to hold that too long. Flip your feet. And then you're going to come forward. Walk your feet back a little bit. Now engage your lower abdominals right above the pubic bone as we come into front platform stretch. So your knees are engaged, they're back up into the thighs. It is common in this posture for sometimes you get cramps in your feet. Okay, and then sit back to a child's pose. You can widen your knees, bring the two big toes to touch. Keep your arms extended, lower your forehead down, and let your torso fall towards the ground. Take some long, deep breaths here. In and out through the nose. Feel your ribs expand. Feel your belly soften. Couple more breaths. And then come forward onto your forearms. Okay, so bring your knees in, not entirely to touch, but hip width, and then elongate through the spine. So pull the lower belly in, press out of your elbows, draw your shoulder blades together towards each other. Just look forward and feel that stretch. Then exhale, round your spine. You can feel a core contraction right there when you do this. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Push out of your elbows. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Last one, inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Now you can keep your elbows and your arms just like this, or you can interlock your fingers. We're going to go into a dolphin because it's such a great stretch for the spine. So to get into this posture, look at your knees. Walk them in a little bit because it doesn't work to get yourself off your body if your knees are too far back. Curl your toes under And then press out of your elbows, round your spine, and lift yourself up. And you can maybe walk your feet up a little bit. Long, deep breathing. And then bend your knees, come back down, look forward, extend your spine. And then lift back up. Flip your toes over. Come into a normal cat-cow. Exhale and round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Back to table. Curl your toes under, lift up to a down dog. Send your hips up and back. Push your head back behind your arms. Pull the lower belly in. Direct your breath right from the navel all the way up behind your heart. And then inhale your right leg up to a three-legged dog. And then bend that knee and let the foot flop to the left and look under your right elbow or right armpit. And then exhale that back down. Inhale the left leg up. Push your head back behind your arms, get long. Bend that knee, let the foot flop, open up that hip. Then exhale, bring that foot back down, bend your knees, come down, and come into neutral table. Then we're gonna open up the shoulders a little bit, so we're gonna do thread the needle. So we're gonna do 3 times each side. So you're gonna stack yourself up into your table. Inhale the right hand up. So kick that hip out a little bit so you can get a nice stretch going all the way through the side body up into the shoulder. Look towards it. Exhale, thread the needle. You're not gonna be coming down yet. Inhale back up, get longer each time. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now on this one, you're gonna come down onto the shoulder and the ear. So settle in, keep the hips up, let your shoulder and your ear come down. Now with the left hand, you can leave it right beside you. You can stretch it long. You can bring it back behind your back into a little bind. Whatever you choose, whatever feels the best for you. Just relax. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. And then wherever your left hand was, come back up into table again. So you're going to inhale the left arm up, long, exhale, thread the needle to the right. Inhale up, exhale, inhale, exhale, and on this one you're going to stretch up, and then you're going to thread the needle again, come down onto the left shoulder, left ear, and place your hand wherever you want. I like to, depending on how I feel, but I usually like to take a little bind just so I can open up the other shoulder at the same time. Okay, and then come out of that. And we're going to go into the next one, which is puppy pose. We're just going to get right into the shoulders. So stretch your arms out long. Keep your hips, your knees hip width. Keep your hips up. Drop your forearms down. Let your forehead come down. And feel that incredible stretch through the shoulders. And remind yourself just to relax. Use your breath to direct any tension out of the areas that you might be feeling it. If you're doing a lot of driving, a lot of office work, a lot of lifting, gardening, maybe you just are always tight. People always carry shoulders or stress in the shoulders. Now stay exactly the way you are, except move your palms together, press them in a prayer, and then you're just going to lift your hands up and place them right behind your neck. Okay, bring your arms back down. Then just tense your fingers, lift the forearms up, get into the shoulders a little bit. You're going to get underneath the scapula now. And then go ahead and lift yourself back up. Okay, so now we're going to do a variation of gate pose. So I won't make it too strenuous. You're going to take, take your right leg out to the side and the full foot is flat down. Curl the left toes under and you're going to sit back towards the heel, stretch your arms out. So you're just going to get into the inner thigh now. And then you're going to come back up. And now you'll come up onto your knee and your foot. Lift the left arm up, stretch your right hand down, so gate pose. And good. Now you're going to take that leg, swing it around behind you. Toes are into the ground and you're going to look towards that foot. And then bring that back. And then take the left foot out. Try and line it up as best as you can with the opposite knee so it's not too far forward or back, right? Just have a look at it, see? And then you can get the maximum stretch. Okay, so curl the right toes under now and sit back towards the heel. Stretch your arms out, let your forehead come down. Breathe into the inner thigh and the groin. And then come back up, walk your hands back, come onto your knee and your foot. Lift the right hand up and stretch down the left leg. Wherever it feels comfortable, you're going to get a really good stretch through the waist. Up into the armpit. And release from that. Come back onto hands and knees and swing that left leg to the right and look towards the right, or that left foot on your right hand side. So nice stretch for the outer hip on the right hip as well. Okay, good. And then come back to the table and press back to a down dog. So again, engage the thighs. Look towards your thighs. Activate the Malabandha. So lift up the pelvic floor. Squeeze right above the pubic bone and underneath the belly button. Squeeze the rectum, sex organ back to the navel. Channel all the energy directed up the spine. And walk your feet back as if you're going to go into a plank. And then keep your arms straight, lower your hips down. And stretch out the front of the body. And if you've done any core work, this is going to be an incredible stretch for the core. And sit back to your heels again. And then come back. We're going to go drop down again, drop the hips down. So try and get a bigger stretch than you did the last time. If you were to be in this with your feet flat and you engage the knees, push the ground away and lift up the thighs, you're in up dog. Okay, so just drop the hips down and now you're going to look to your right foot. This is great to stretch out the optic nerve. And then look to the left, look to the right, look to the left, and then push up to up dog. Stretch out the thyroid, lift the knees up, and then curl the toes under and press back to a down dog. Walk your feet to the edges of the mat, walk them up a tiny little bit, and leave the right hand down, and take a hold of the outside of the left foot, or the right foot, sorry. Pull yourself towards your thigh for twisting dog. And then place the left hand down and switch. So grab on to the outside of the left foot now. And then release that. Walk your hands back a little bit. Just let your torso hang. You can have a little micro bend in your knees. And then we're going to go into Malasana. So from here, your feet are going to be, your toes are going to be turned out, your heels are going to be in, and then you're going to bend down and sit. Such a great posture. Now it's really common for people to not be able to get their heels down. So just really widen your feet. And you'll find the more that you practice this, really it would go a huge way for you if you were to even try and do this every day. It just takes off so much pressure off the bowel points and helps with digestion, elimination, opens up the hips and the pelvis, helps the spine be able to sit down, you know, and lengthen. It's great for the pelvic floor, it's great for the reproductive system, the urinary tract, everything. All right. So from here, you can just sit your hips down. Some people are afraid that they're going to fall out of it. Okay, so if this is too much and you just don't have that hip mobility, then straighten your legs. Okay, remember, yoga is a practice and it's a journey into yourself, through yourself. Okay, so be patient with yourself, don't beat yourself up. And so from here, we're going to take a little twist, okay? So legs are out straight. Your left hand's going to come to the outside of your right leg. Take your right hand behind you. Inhale, pull the lower belly up, lift the ribs, and exhale, twist. And then come back through center and take the opposite side. So really lengthen up, it's most important to keep you want this twist to be through the spine, so you're not contorting the rest of your body to make it work. Inhale through center, exhale, twist and look behind you to the best of your ability. And come back to center. Okay. Sorry, my eye is a little bit itchy. Take your right foot in, so it's like you're standing on it. Look at your foot and your ankle, so you don't want to be twisting your ankle to get into this. So just hug your arms around your leg right now just to maximize this hip opening. Your left leg is long. So before we go into a twist, just kind of compress your knee. All right. And then you're going to take your left arm long and then wrap that elbow around the front of the right knee. So inhale, lengthen, sit up as tall and straight as you can, and you can tense your fingers or you can place your whole palm flat down. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist. And then come back through center. Lengthen the right leg, pull the left foot in. So again, you're standing on the foot. And if you need to elongate that leg, just press into the hand and kind of lift your butt up and scoot your leg forward. Okay, so again, pull, just use your arms and give yourself a little bit of a hug. You can even let your forehead come down. Okay, and then now you're going to take the right arm long, grab hold of the left knee by bringing that elbow in. And again, lift the ribs up and away. Inhale, exhale, twist, look behind you. And then come back through center. Left leg long, right foot in, Janishrasana, A. For those of you who know what I'm talking about or have done this before, or you're going to think about it kind of like you're in tree pose, except you're not balancing. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to walk your fingers forward. So if your spine is really tight and your legs are really tight, you might be up here. But just walk your fingers forward and get to wherever you can get to. It's really not a competition. Just a couple breaths. It's great for the kidneys as well. Okay, then come up, and now we're going to go diagonally. Okay, so you're not moving your body. You're just going to, instead of walking yourself down the front of your leg, you're going to go in between the two, right? So again, just wherever you can get to. It's a big stretch for the hamstring. Okay, walk your hands back because we're not doing yin yoga. So we're not holding for long periods of time. Alternate legs now, so right leg long, left foot in, and the foot, because you probably can't see exactly what I'm doing, maybe you can. The foot is pressing into the inner thigh of the straight leg. Okay, so again, you're going to lean your body forward with your chest, right? Instead of trying to drop your head down, so you have a rounding back. So keep the integrity of the spine. Keep going straight so your body can fold, and then you can get that really great stretch through your spine and through the back, well, the whole back of the body. Okay, take a couple deep breaths in and out. Okay, then you're going to come back up. Now we're going to go diagonally again. So walk your hands forward. The back of your leg might be tighter on one side than the other, so just acknowledge where you're at. You're not trying to tear yourself. And come back up. Okay. So now you're going to make a little diamond shape. So instead of Baddha A, where you have your feet in, bound angle pose, you're going to make a diamond shape from your knees. Okay, so they're not in like this, they're out. Slide them out a little bit. And then you're just going to fold forward. You might even be able to wrap your hands underneath your ankles. This is just really a nice stretch for the lower back. Keep breathing. And then come back up. Okay, so we're going to do heron, okay? So to do is you are going to, we'll start off with the left leg. So bend your right knee. Okay, like you're going to sit in cross-legged Sukhasana. And then bend your left knee, except the foot is on the floor. So the toes are lifting up and the heels down. And then you're just going to reach around and hold both sides of the foot. And then you're going to inhale and stretch the right leg or the left leg up. Okay, so you're not rounding again. You're honoring your spine. So your chest is forward. So you're going to lift your ribs away from your hips and chest forward. And then you're going to leave your left hand on the outside of the left foot. And then you're going to stretch your right hand back. Really nice for the shoulders to open them up. And then bring your hands back. Maybe you can bring your head towards your knee. And then bring the right hand out to a T and swing the left leg out. Great. Okay, so bring that one down and you're going to fold that. So the left knee is going to be folded onto the mat. Bring that right foot in, lift up the toes, keep the heel down, and then try and straighten your leg to the best that you can. Always try and do the best that you can. Lift through the chest, get a nice stretch through the spine. And then keep holding on with that right hand to the right foot, and then you're going to bring the left hand back behind you. Look towards it. Use your core and hold you up. And then come back and bring your head towards your knee. And then straighten up again. Bring the right leg out and the left hand out. Good, good. And then sit in Sukhasana, easy pose. And then just walk your fingers forward. Lead with your heart going forward, okay? Because if you drop your head down, you're gonna lose the whole stretch, okay? So lean with the chest forward. Keep going, look forward. Don't do anything with your head yet. Get down where you can. So you're hip opening and elongating the spine. And then you can lower your head. Then go ahead and walk your hands over to the right. And walk your hands through center and over to the left. And then walk yourself back. Okay. So we're going to take a bridge pose. If wheel is part of your practice, go ahead and do wheel. Otherwise, I'm not trying to make this too advanced today because I've just been hearing so many people are just so tight. So, all right, this is just a feel-good kind of yoga class. Feet are hip width. Press into your feet. Press the ground away, lift your hips up, Interlock your fingers underneath you and forearms stay down flat. Hands are flat down. Lift the butt up. Just a couple more breaths. Good. Release your hands. Bring your hands back behind you. And then start to lower your spine all the way down, flat. Sacrum comes down last. Let's go ahead and take a big stretch. Straighten your legs out. Point your toes away from you. Get really long. Take some deep breaths. And then you're going to bend your right knee, take your left hand to the outside of the left knee, start to twist to the left as you extend your right hand, palm facing up, let your head turn towards the right. Body goes left, head goes right. And then go ahead and straighten again. Just a little cat stretch. There's lots of twists, but twists really help get some movement in the body, and they also are so good for the organs and just keeping everything nice and full of fresh blood. All right. So just bring your arms out to a T, palms facing up. Let your back just settle in for a second. And then we're going to do shoulder stand. So if shoulder stand kind of makes people freak out a little bit. It's such a great posture on so many levels. But if it's not part of your practice and you're uncomfortable even just thinking about it, then you would just lay on your back and just let your legs be straight up in the air at 90 degrees, and you're still going to get that benefit. If shoulder stand is part of your practice, go ahead and roll yourself down. Okay, so kick up, support your lower back, point your toes, legs are engaged. Maybe you can bring your feet out, legs out. And maybe grab your legs. And switch. And then just lengthen. So it's really, I know part of the problem for people is that don't like the compression feeling in their throat and their neck. But that's exactly what this posture is for. It's for the health of your neck and your throat chakra, and your thyroid and parathyroid. Okay, and then maybe you can go into plow pose. So lengthen your arms, forearms down, palms are flat, and legs behind you. Knees away from your forehead. And then curl in and roll down nice and slow. Lower your legs down. And then arms back behind you, take another big stretch. And then flip over onto your belly. Left arm long, forehead down, bend the right knee, take your right hand, grab onto your ankle, pull the foot towards your butt. And then relax that foot and stretch your right hand long, bend the left knee, grab onto the left ankle, and pull that foot towards the butt. So you're just going to stretch out the front of the thighs again. Relax your jaw and your eyes and your face. Long deep breathing into the body. See if you can soften even more. Okay, release your legs. Bring your feet out to the edges of the mat. You're going to do a couple spider cobras before we wrap this up. So fingers are tented, elbows are up, and you're going to inhale and push up. Exhale, bend the elbows and come down. Okay, so again, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, and exhale down. Last one, inhale up, hold, exhale, bend the elbows. Place the hands beside you, palms facing up, and turn your head to the right or the left. Let your ear come down. Take a little break. Then lift your head and then turn your head to the opposite side. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. Really feel your lungs expand on each inhale. Belly soften on the exhale. Let it all go. on your back in Savasana, Shavasana, whatever you want to call it. Just sit back towards your heels and just stretch your back out. And you're done. So thank you again for joining me and practicing, and thank you to you. I hope that you feel comfortable in your body, and you should really congratulate yourself that you took this time to carve out a little time for yourself and to give yourself a little bit of a stretch. So I hope that helped. I hope that you have a little more ease in your body. Pretty stretchy, but I think that's what everyone needs right now. So much love to you guys, and until we see each other again, be well, and I hope to see you soon. Do something lovely with your day today. Bye.